In the Douglas neighborhood of Chicago's South Side, a deadly alliance known as 757 emerged. Formed around 2014, it joined together the RocNation GDs on 27th Street and State, the Lawless GDs on 35th Street and Rhodes, and the Ave BDs on 37th Street in Indiana. The name 757 came from the final digits of those streets. The three sets all trace their roots to the old Harold L. Ickes Homes, demolished between 2009 and 2011, and they forged an alliance after suffering losses and facing common enemies. Before the former alliance, each set faced tragedy. In late 2009, an 18-year-old RocNation member, Rashawn Johnson, known as Marley, was killed in a police chase. In April 2010, Lawless lost 21-year-old Jamar Moore in a shooting at a dance hall. Then, the Ave was drawn into a brutal feud with a local gang that later became known as Welch World. On May 15, 2010, 19-year-old Anthony Welch of that gang was gunned down on 40th and King by two members of the Ave nicknamed Sass and Neef. On April 10, 2011, at 4:30 p.m., 22-year-old Christopher Daniels, known as Neef from the Ave, was stopped at a traffic light near 74th and Vincennes when Tay Savage, who was in a car in front of him, exited his car and opened fire at Neef, where Neef then put his car into reverse trying to get away, but Tay Savage chased him while shooting until Neef crashed his car into a parking lot. After the crash, Tay Savage continued shooting at Neef, striking him multiple times. Neef was pronounced dead at Northwestern Memorial Hospital, where Tay Savage escaped in March 2014. Tay Savage from Welch World was charged with the murder of Neef while being held for Sess's murder. While being traveled to the interview room, Tay Savage stated out this time, "Guess y'all right when you said you'd be back for me." The Ave retaliated but suffered losses too. In early 2011, 24-year-old Princess Streeter, known as Sess, was murdered by David Clark of Welch World, who was known as Tay Savage. In April 2011, Tay Savage ambushed and killed 22-year-old Christopher Daniels, known as Neef, after a car chase. A few months later, in August 2011, Ave members nicknamed Streeter, Vito, and Ace fired into a playground crowd aiming at a rival. Tragically, they struck and killed 13-year-old Darius Brown, known as Bay, an innocent bystander. Those shooters were eventually arrested. In 2014, Streeter and Ace were given 50-year prison terms, and Vito, 68 years. Other losses piled up. In mid-2012, the Lawless set lost 19-year-old Jonathan Allen, known as Booney, in a motorcycle crash. In May 2013, Lawless member Tory Stewart, known as Snoop, was shot and killed near 31st and Rhodes. In honor of these fallen comrades, Lawless members began referring to their clique as Jamar World, Booney Boys, and Snoop Life. At the same time, rivalry sharpened. RocNation had been clashed with the Mickey Cobras, OTV 29, in the Dearborn Homes, while the Ave fought an intense war with Welsh World. Each faction was building a list of enemies on the south side. In 2014, the surviving members of RocNation 27, Lawless 35, and the Ave 37 formally united as one faction. They began calling their alliance 757, a reference to the 27th, 35th, and 37th streets at its core. That summer, 757 launched a campaign of retaliatory violence. On August 15, 2014, 25-year-old Walter Neely, known as Walt of Welch World, was shot dead near 35th and Indiana by two teenagers from 757. The shooters were 16-year-old Dre from RocNation and 16-year-old Snoop from the Ave. Both were arrested and charged in Walt's murder. In early September 2014, 757 struck again by gunning down 19-year-old Ickes Homes, known as S. Dot, at 73rd and Diamond. Authorities later arrested 18-year-old Santana from RocNation in connection with that killing. A week later, 17-year-old Michael Bloodson, known as Fahim of THF 46, was shot dead on 39th and Prairie. It was widely believed the killing was revenged by 757 for his alleged betrayal of the gang's code. Those autumn attacks made clear that 757 was a lethal new force on Chicago's streets. In 2015, 757's conflict shifted toward another enemy, OBN, a black disciple set around 39th and Langley. On January 13, 2015, 16-year-old Terrell Campbell, known as Boss Rail of OBN, was gunned down in a vacant lot near 39th and Calumet. 757 members claimed responsibility, though police made no arrests. Some brought more bloodshed. On June 6, 2015, 17-year-old Richard Edwards, known as Sonny of RocNation, was killed by a drive-by shooter near 35th and Halstead. That murder remained unsolved. On September 24, 2015, 20-year-old Darian Gunn, known as Scooter of OBN, was ambushed and shot near 30th in Michigan. A 757 affiliate named Devo was arrested in connection, but he was later released. In late 2016, 757 suffered another blow. On December 4, 2016, 22-year-old D'Angelo Martin, known as Bud of 757, was standing on 73rd and Yale when gunfire erupted. He was shot multiple times and died shortly after. In the years that followed, more young members fell in street conflicts. Names like Boo Man, Ray Ray, and AJ appeared in memorial posts, reflecting the ongoing toll of violence. By 2020, the group had more than dozens of dead, many killed in skirmishes with rivals or internal feuds. Each of these losses only hardened the alliance's resolve. Meanwhile, 757 had allies of its own, aligning with other gangster disciple crews on the south side such as Young Money 51 and the Do It Gang 21. In 2023, a killing far from Chicago drew headlines. On June 10, 2023, 20-year-old Deshaun Berry, known as Lil Ro, was gunned down in a drive-by in North Hollywood, California. The shooter was identified as Torrin Bartlett, known as Trench Baby, and the brother of rapper Polo G. Bartlett was later charged with murder. Lil Ro's death showed that 757's conflicts could follow its members beyond Chicago, and in the following 2 years, several other associates were also slain, continuing the cycle of reprisals. As of 2025, 757 remains a tight-knit alliance, though a battered one. Its structure is largely informal, guided by the senior survivors. Prominent figures have included Big Jack and Big Folks from the Ave, and Gunsmoke Gutter, Wooski and Tunch from the other sets. Many in 757 still wear the Fallen's names on their chests or tattoos. The gang continues to feud with OBN and Welsh World, among others, and the latest tragedies of early 2025 when Big Jack himself and another member known as Bop were both shot dead are part of a grim tally. Rumors of betrayal and brotherhood. Behind the scenes on the south side, 757's story has taken a darker turn. Online detectives and street chatter are buzzing with suspicion. Was the group betrayed from within? In early 2025, the killings of Big Jack, a respected founder, and a young gunman known as Bop rocked the alliance. The timing and precision of those hits have fueled whispers that someone may have leaked information. Even the oldest voices on the block admit they've never seen trust this fragile. On forums, fans and self-described analysts scour timelines and social feeds for clues. Some insist there were telltale signs like meeting rumors or unusual social media posts hinting that 757 secrets were exposed. Of course, none of this is confirmed, yet each murder only deepens the mystery. For those watching, the question lingers: did enemies strike from outside, or did someone from the inside break the code of loyalty? 757 fights its own demons. The battle lines on the streets continue to shift. The alliance combining RocNation GDs, Lawless GDs, and Ave BDs has long waged war with rival sets. Their feud with the OBN crews, Rollin' 60s Nation neighbors, has seen dozens fall on both sides. In 2019, a sudden clash with the Murder Town, often called MTG-39, led to fierce gun battles, leaving key members dead. They have also sparred with nearby OTB sets over turf.
No. They said, I'm trying to come on the block, don't come through this, boy. Hold on, what they calling? Don't come through this, these goofy ass kids.
Come through this block playing crazy on Fulham Grade. Y'all see what happen, man, on Gutter. I'm gonna just let that shit be known right there. Come through this and on Fulham Head. Let's go check my store.
Now, some insiders say 757 might even be eyeing new partnerships to steady itself. Forums are rife with speculation. Are they quietly making peace with other gangs? Maybe reaching out to smaller Northside crews for backup? Reports of joint parties or code words and songs spark theories of secret pacts. Whether it's a truce with a street council or an unannounced ally in the Latin King orbit, nothing is confirmed. One thing is clear, after each clash, their map of friends and foes seems more tangled. To onlookers, 757 has become the wilder card alliance. Nobody is quite sure who's now shaking hands in the dark. In tandem with these rumors, 757 has its own pulse in Chicago's drill music. The alliance's influence goes beyond alleyways into studio tracks and YouTube videos. Leaders like 757 BA have racked up hundreds of thousands of views with raw, street-centric anthems. His videos, snarling about loyalty and retaliation, often feature crew signs and crew members beside him. Alongside BA, artists like Lil G and Wooski, both waving 757 colors, have churned out tracks with titles like Do It Gang and Play Ball, talking up their set's rep. Every lyric and gesture is parsed by fans for hidden meaning. On Reddit threads and video comment sections, enthusiasts debate whether a mention of a street name or a film location is a coded threat or boast. Even the phrases they drop in freestyle sessions are studied. Is it just hype or a tip-off to an upcoming move? Drill producers and promoters have taken note, giving 757's music scenes a larger platform. Yet the line between rap and reality stays blurry. Their songs amplify the 757 legend, attracting questions about whether any big-name rappers have ties to the set, but so far no mainstream connection has been confirmed. Still, the beats keep the streets listening. For 757's store, every rhythm and rhyme doubles as its signature on the streets. Whenever something major happens in Chicago, the Whisper Network suspects 757 involvement. Popular theories swirled around unsolved slayings and brazen shootings. Could they have been behind a notorious drive-by years ago, or had a hand in the high-profile rapper's beef? In one case, conspiracy-minded fans pointed to uncanny similarities between a 757 affiliated music video and the actual hit, suggesting there was more than art imitating life. In another, a mysterious meeting on a parking lot, caught briefly on cell phone video, sent shockwaves through Reddit. Some insist that they spotted known 757 members at the scene. Of course, none of this is confirmed. Facts are scarce and drama plentiful. On every subreddit post, when someone drops a clue like "I saw 27th Street tags on that wall," the hot takes begin. Theories range from 757 secretly brokering ceasefires, to plotting fresh campaigns, to even tangling in gangs far outside their territory. Each new rumor adds another layer to the legend, and in a void of hard news, the community fills in the blanks with its own stories. To outsiders, it sometimes feels like the truth is ghost-written by the internet. A half-formed puzzle that the public is still trying to solve. Amid all the gossip, a few names keep surfacing as 757's representatives. Big Jack, one of the architects of the alliance, was an older statesman on the block. He's gone now, but people still recall how he bridged different gangs back in the day. BA, often seen with the number 747 on his clothing, has effectively become the public voice of the crew through music and social media. Then there are the younger faces, Baby Jew and Baby Glock, rumored by many to be the ones who stepped up the violence in recent years. Videos and chase logs on community wikis even credit them with dozens of hits. They rarely give interviews, so their personas live mostly in graffiti photos and online shoutouts. Others like Lil G and Wooski don the Do It Gang shirts and videos. They appear less in the streets and more in drum machines, but their names are splashed on 757 banners. In more casual circles, friends mention figures like Gunsmoke, Gouda, and Tunch with a nod, veterans who pull strings behind the scenes. Each one's story is a thread in a larger tapestry. But that'll be about it for this video. Make sure you like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what y'all want to see next. And as always, stay blessed and stay well. Yeah, I'm out.